the program, agency, departmental level. It's almost like pulling back when you look at a picture. So your picture gets wider and wider, the scope gets broader and broader. So I actually wanted to bring the DHS federal budget process, how it is in the department, so you can see how it looks when you see, how we gather data, the points of the year when it's probably best to ask a budget analyst for money, when the negotiation windows have ended. And I didn't know if I would be bringing the wrong information or not, because I know a lot of you work in different departments, so I didn't know what your experience level would be. So I apologize about that. I could send it to Melissa, and if you're interested in looking at it, then you can go ahead and look at it. If you have questions, then you can contact me. I was kind of a late pick, so I didn't know what I could give you or not give you. I guess what I do now is I work at an agency. I work at the Domestic Nuclear Detection Office, and what we do is we work with, we're the federal coordinator for all radiological and nuclear domestic detection. So when you think about the global nuclear detection architecture as a whole, I work just on the domestic piece, which is just the US. So we basically try and protect the borders, also protect the maritime areas with the Coast Guard, and then we also basically try and keep things like highly enriched uranium, other radiological signatures outside of the US. So that way people can't bring those into the country, potentially make a bomb, and then take out Manhattan. So that's what I work on right now. And predominantly my experience at DHS was at the CFO level. So what I did is I had to look at the secretary's priorities, and then I had to apply it to the entire department. So pretty much when I focus on a budget, I usually picture, okay, am I at the program level, the agency level, or the departmental level? And as soon as I'm in those different points, I picture who is the audience for a document, or who's the person that I am trying to work for. So for example, at the program level, I'm working for a program manager. So I'm going to worry about that person's needs and hopefully push it forward to the agency level. At the agency level, I'm more worried about the director. What's the director going to want? Okay, Vail Oxford, the director for DNDO, he wants to focus on the borders and border security and focus on scanning radiological material that comes through the borders. So that's my focus. If I'm at the CFO's office, I'm going to worry about, okay, Secretary Chertoff, he is worried about the borders, but with the new general aviation earmarks that we received in legislation, I should probably focus on general aviation earmarks. So they'll tell us, okay, it's fine you're doing borders, but maybe focus on general aviation as well because you do have legislative earmarks. So it's almost like this little game you play based upon where you reside in the process. And I guess we had a May monthly meeting where we had a bunch of analysts, several from OMB and one from the departmental view, and then I was at the agency level. And it was pretty much more of a, what are you going to bring to your budget analyst position? So, like, I think it's interesting that you guys work at CBO and you work on the Hill. I think that's wonderful. I don't know, for me that's exciting, but then I'm a budget geek, so woo. Yeah, nerd alert, okay. But one thing I think that's neat is that when you look at the budget, you can pick like something you're passionate about and actually work for that. Like for example, one thing I'm passionate about is I'm a Pacific Islander, and I'm passionate about what happens to my people. So what do I focus on? What happens to my people? So when I was an intern, I don't know if you have this opportunity to do this, but when I was an intern, I served at the White House Initiative on Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders. So I learned so many things. I learned, for example, OMB Directive 15 said, I'm officially Pacific Islander. All of my friends who are Filipino that called themselves Pacific Islanders, according to OMB Directive 15, they're Asian Americans.